Hey guys, I got a lot to do today. Okay, I ate my breakfast. I was just watching 48. 48 hours. I try not to watch it as much because it does get to you when you watch that show. Um, but sometimes this gives you a wake up call. A lot of times, people like me, you want to see the good in everybody. Even if you see them doing bad all the time, no matter what you say to them, they come back with something bad, something evil. And then sometimes you think about, this is their soul. And you cannot change everybody. Me, I'm paranoid. I'm just paranoid of everybody, and I'm working on it. And you cannot be that way. And sometimes if you don't stop yourself and change yourself and do things to strengthen yourself, those things can take over your life. Um, and you have to trust somebody, but you can't trust everybody. I was just watching this one. This episode was about a man, hard-working man, got engaged to a beautiful woman who was studying to be a nurse, had a son already, they had a baby together, building a life. But she had a good heart. She was helping two young men in the neighborhood. She would feed them, take care of them, let them hang out at her house. She was just trying to be a good person because she had a son and she wanted to help somebody else's sons. But sometimes, and that's a lot of reasons why there are so many teenagers that grow up and emancipate out of foster care because a lot of people are afraid to take those children on, because of any little thing. I can remember when I was a teen, my mother was sick and I was usually taking care of myself. And one of the supervisors at the school, one of the counselors at the school, allowed me to come into her house, stay with her and her kids and stuff like that and help me. And someone who was supposedly a friend of mine went and lied to her and said that I was partying, which I wasn't. I was just doing all kind of things that I know that didn't never happen. I was just a lost child at the time. And she told her all these lies so she wouldn't take up with me, so she wouldn't take time with me and I have more time with her. And the lady believed the lies. And her name was Miss Driver. She believed the lies that this girl told. And I think the girl finally went back and told her that she was lying, but at that time it was too late for her to help me. This was a person that was going to help me like the lady was helping these two boys in the show. She had girls herself my age. So she didn't want to bring any person that was bad into her house, which I understand. And I understand why she did what she did. And I wasn't mad at her because I did understand. But this girl lied on me, and of course we weren't friends anymore. And I don't even know why, she thought to do that. Maybe she was mad because I had someone of authority that was looking after me and giving me a different life or trying to help me get to start out in a better life. So you can have a person that's with you sabotage everything you're doing and ruin your life. So just like on this 48 hours, this nurse, this lady who was studying to be a nurse was helping out two young men. Okay, now both of them went to jail for life with no parole. But the other one, I really doubt if he had anything to do with the killing, but he was just with the guy. You know what I mean? They were friends. And the other guy wanted the car and the money and whatever, and he's the one that did all the killing, I mean, he hit a baby, 10-year-old baby in the head with a doggone TV and killed him, okay? And this is somebody who has been regular in the house, can not probably just walk through the door and sit down and eat, do whatever. And he wanted something from her. And I'm going to explain this to you. I really believe that these kids, especially the one who killed her and her son, they were troubled deep in their soul. He was troubled really deep, and she saw his troubling, and she really wanted to help him. But his soul was already gone, probably at age, 10, 9, 10, probably the same age as her son. He had already lost everything that was on inside of him, and she was just trying to build off of that. And I used to do that with people that be evil to everybody around me, but I think, oh, well, they're my friend. I can change them. They'll be nice. They'll do this and they'll do that. And I had to learn the hard way that these people, no matter what you do, they won't change. But, it doesn't hurt to do something. Now, if you're helping somebody and you give them advice, or you say, think before you think about what you're doing. And then if they sit back and think about it and they change their ways, into a better way, you know what I'm saying? But I don't see, when I tell people something, I just don't say it off my own merit. It's something I've researched, or it's something I've already been through. And then they do their own. I tell them to do your own research, and they do their own research, and they see that this way is a better way to do it. And God will bless me if I do it this way, because this way is good. If I do it the other way, it's because I'm angry, because I'm mad, because I'm hurt, because I'm in pain. You don't do things out of anger and hurt. Because when you do things out of anger and hurt, they always turn out bad. Okay? So on this 48 hours, this person wanted her car, wanted her money. She said no. She probably has never told him no. She probably gave him $5, gave him $10, feed them, allow them, all this freedom that they were getting. In the first sign of this no freedom, he freaked the hell out and just went ballistic and killed them. Because it wasn't about, because he didn't have any love in his heart. And I was done that way. And thank God she didn't kill me. I had a manager, Teresa, I'm talking about you. And she told me I couldn't be friends with nobody else. She told me, if you keep being friends with this certain person, I'm going to fire you and her. And she made up some cockamamie story that these people believe, because, of course, she's the boss. And she just kept fabricating lies and stories about my shoes, about the clothes. Most of the clothes she had already gave me. Most of my scrubs I got from her. So, she just kept on. And it was just, I couldn't believe it. And everybody was so fearful. She was cutting people hours, getting people laid off, just doing all kind of crazy stuff in my name. And so she had twisted it so bad, it made me look like the villain. It made me look like the wrong one. It took me 3 years to get my name cleared. 3 years. And she's still working as a nurse. She told me to let a patient bleed to death, but she's still working there. And that's the one thing about people like that. Like, if these young men didn't get caught, if there wasn't someone there to say who their names were, they would have killed this woman and just been living their life happy and going on about their daily, And just like her, she's still a nurse, still working there, still giving meds, probably still killing folks or whatever. But the company didn't fire her, because they didn't believe me. They didn't believe me. So that tells me a lot. It doesn't mean that I'm not going to help anybody. But when somebody just refuses to be helped and they just continue, like, I'm going to stay evil. I'm going to keep doing what I do. And this is how I make it. This is how I make my money. I get paid, And if you still want to do that, you do that. You have fun doing that. I'm going to try to do the legal stuff. I know the law is against us, period. But I'm going to try to follow it the best way that I possibly can. If you cool with him doing that, y'all keep on doing that. I'm going to have to step away. I can love you at a distance. So that's what you have to do sometimes. It hurts, but sometimes you just can't help everybody, especially people that can't be helped. You can't. The only people I put my life dead on the line for is my 2 sons, But other than that, a lot of people just cannot be helped. And you can do the best you can, but sometimes you need to know when to step back. When to step back and watch. When to step back and pray. And you have to learn how to do that. And then I watched the other 48 was just somebody robbing somebody and killing them. Because they both, all 3 of them felt like they were nobodies. And how you kill somebody over drugs, how you kill somebody over owing you money, I think that is the sick part of American nature, of any nature, and because our police system here in America isn't the same as in Europe or different places. Our police system is punishment for us. It's not serving us. It's not protecting us. Every now and then you hear a case about where they actually serve and protect. I saw the other day when a lady was being threatened by her husband, and her husband or boyfriend, and she called the police, and the police actually believed her, and they went with her to the house. I was so shocked. They went back to protect this lady, the police. And it's terrible to say that, but the police was actually protecting somebody, a black person. And I hate to say it like that, but I was just like, wow, it was a shock. They made several videos about being shocked that the police were actually protecting a black person, and it was really a shock to me too. Because I know it happened to me when I was younger, and I called the police to help. They only took my significant other husband around the corner, and we're gonna let him cool off and bring him back. And they did that. They drove around the corner, brought him right back to the house. Okay, you don't see the doors knocked down? Didn't I just tell you he pushed me? And they brought him back to the house. So that's what they used to do. Brought him back to the house. Now, what if they brought him back to the house? Now, you can call the police and then kill me. That's usually how it used to happen a lot. And they'll cover that stuff up, So I saw this one. They came back to the house. The husband or boyfriend, whatever he was, came back to the house with a gun to kill her. And the police was there. When the guy came in shooting, police came out shooting too, and they got shot in the leg or arm or something, but they took him down because he actually came there to kill her. So with them actually being there to do the job that, that I hate to say that I'm shocked that they were doing, they both lived. Think about it, guys. You were doing the job that you're supposed to do, and God saved both of you. Okay? Your job isn't to go into a house where people are sleeping in the bed and shoot them. That's not your job. Especially over some drugs. Over some drugs? Really? When you might well go into pharmaceutical big old mansions and start shooting them. They selling drugs to people and got them hooked on drugs. Legally, because it's the law. Because you wrote a prescription. Back in the day, before Mexicans started making a lot of money and black people were selling the drugs and making a lot of money, marijuana was used for medicine, as it's used now for medicine. Wonder how that turned around and started happening. You really got to know what's behind a lot of these laws and a lot of these things that they're doing out here. Marijuana should have been available and used as a pharmaceutical drug, but the only problem was that people could actually grow it in their houses. People could actually grow it in their yards. So why would we let people cure themselves? This was Africa. Africa, like voodoo, was just medicine. In Haiti, food is medicine. And it's always been that way. And now the Europeans, once they find out what the Africans are doing, you can see a commercial on television where people are saying food is medicine. Okay, Haitians been saying that since the beginning of Haiti. So now you're saying it and making millions of dollars off of it, and that's what they do. That's what they do. Just like different things. This stop you from eating. This is what they use in the jungle so they won't be hungry. The African Bushmen are used in the jungle so they won't be hungry. And then they'll put it in a bottle and sell it for $29.95. And if you got it from someone in Africa, why can't you take that money and buy their land back for them? Why can't you take that money and ask them what they want? Because they gave you the secret to be a millionaire here in America. A lot of them ain't trying to be millionaires. They're just trying to live free, have a waste system, have a water system. Why don't you take some of that money and give them a waste system for their waste, even if it's just sewers in the ground or whatever, and get them a water system? Most of the time where there is land that is fertile or land that is properly irrigated, there's rain, they push people off those lands, which should be given back to them. If you really think about it, I know I'm talking about a lot, but if you really think about it, it's about doing right. When you do right by somebody, a lot of times right things happen, good things happen. And there's nothing wrong with doing good things. Just imagine if everybody in America, just America, did good things and how everything would change. And stop being selfish. Oh, this is for me. You gonna pry my dick, but you gonna take my guns, you gonna pry for my dead hands. What sense do that make? It's a gun. You gonna pry it from my dead hands. It's just stupid things I hear people say. Ignorant things. So I just get to the point now. I don't want to argue with you. Believe what you want to believe. Think how you want to think. Be miserable. I'm working on being happy. I am guilty of doing things to make myself unhappy. And right now, at 54, I'm going to spend the rest of my life every day trying to do something to make myself happy. And a lot of times when you make yourself happy, you make everybody else happy around you, and your life goes easier. And the main thing I'm going to do is pray. Believe me, prayer is everything. Prayer is everything. Because there is a God, there is a Yahweh, there is a Allah, and He is listening. Okay, you guys, you have a wonderful day, and do something good. I know I went off subject a bunch of times in that, but bottom line is, you cannot trust everybody, but you still can do good and walk away with your life. You don't have to invite everybody into your home. And I think that was why we had coronavirus. I really do. I even posted it on my Facebook page, but I reposted it, but I got it off my cousin's page. And it's so true. That maybe this virus, although it took many lives and people I love lives, okay, even though this virus was here, it shut down a lot of these churches. I couldn't even go to church no more because a lot of them just about money, buying airplanes, buying shoes and clothes, and starting a business in the church, and you know what I'm saying? Money. I even seen it's a little car riding around with money and God on it. You know what I'm saying? The love of money, and it's crazy. Not about helping people. How you got a big old church and part of your congregation ain't got nowhere to live, or they live in the slums, or they live in the bed. You should have a fund for each person that's on that board and on that paying their 10%, and they tithes should make sure that their house is correct. Make sure that their plumbing is working. Make sure that roof, clothing, food, and shelter is taken care of on each member in that church. Each member of that church. That's what church should be about. It should be about people coming together, growing big, and helping each other, and educating each other, taking care of each other. Not, I feel like I need to go to this church so I can get rich. I need to go to this church so I can be blessed with some money. I need to go to this church so I can start my business. And that shouldn't be what it's about. It should be, I want to go to this church so I can help somebody, and by me helping somebody, I know that my life will be blessed. That's what church should be about, but it's not. And gosh, shut them down. Shut them down. A lot of business was getting greedy. A lot of people were getting greedy on different things. Got shut down. A lot of times you see, what else got shut down? People being around each other, weren't being kind. You can pass right by somebody and brush their shoulder, be like, why you bumping into me? And said, excuse me, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't pay attention where I was going. I'm sorry. Oh, forgive me. Or how you doing? How you feeling? That has stopped. So God said, okay, you don't want to be kind and nice to each other. I'm just going to separate you. I'm going to get you 6 feet away from each other. Because think about it. 6 feet away from each other while you're alive. When you die, you go 6 feet under. So God was like, I'm going to separate you before you die, to see what you're going to do different. Because while you was dying, you might have said, Lord, let me live so I can do things differently. But then you had to go 6 feet under. All of us got to go 6 feet under. Unless you decide to be buried in New Orleans. Be on top of the ground. So, getting the mausoleum and we cremated. We all got to go there. But while we here on earth, we're 6 feet apart from each other. It's like all of us are walking around buried. Walking around buried. So now that you have a chance 6 feet away from another person, it's like you can think about what you're going to do differently while you're alive. Because you really can't think about what you're going to do differently once you go 6 feet under and you ain't coming back up to do it. So while you're on the earth, 6 feet away from everybody, think about what you can do to change your life. What you can do to make yourself happy. What you can do to make sure that while you're happy, everybody's happy around you. That means do the right thing. Do the right thing for yourself. Do the right thing for everybody else. That's 6 feet away. Because a lot of times when people pass away, just like me, you once they pass away, you can't do all the things you wish you could have did while they were alive. and you constantly sit there and say, oh, I meant to do this, and I meant to do that, I wanted to do this, I wanted to do that, and you didn't do those things. But for the rest of your life, you'll regret it. And for the rest of your life, you'll constantly say what you wanted to do for them. But you can never do it because they're 6 feet under. But now that we're 6 feet away, and you see that person that's 6 feet away from you that you love, and say, okay, what can I do? What can I do that if they passed away today, I would say I want to do when they were buried? What can I do that I would say I could do if they were buried? Because right now, they're 6 feet away from me. That's how we have to think, even if it's a stranger. You know, if I saw this stranger get killed tomorrow and they had his funeral, he was 6 feet under. And what could I have done to this stranger? I could have just said hello. I could have said, have a nice day. I could have just smiled at them and said, it's going to be okay. They looking sad. It's going to be okay. You know? That's all. Give people time to think. Give yourself time to think. Give people time to love. Give yourself time to love. Give yourself time. Because that's one thing that this virus has done. This is one thing that it's a blessing and a curse. Because it has shown us the worst of the worst for the last 4 years. 2020 was hard for me. And of course it was hard for a lot of people. And even I've seen commercials about it. You know, 2020 gave us lemons. It's a commercial with lemons falling on the ground. And 2020 was a lot of lemons for a lot of us. And then you see where people were saying that it was a cloud and now it's been lifted. You know, when you hear it was like, oh, all that good is good. Is that's all right, but what about the real? A lot of times we need the good. We need to hear something good. You need to hear somebody with some inspiring speech, somebody that actually cares. But then you got people that would twist everything around and make it bad. Now they're trying to say you can't kiss somebody's hand. You can't ask them out, or ask them if they got a boyfriend, or ask them if they got a girlfriend. I mean, like, really? You can't say nothing to nobody? Okay, that's not what Me Too movement is. You know, it's just a lot that's going on right now that makes absolutely sense. But it's okay to physically grab somebody's private parts. It's okay to kiss somebody in the mouth just out of the blue. You know, what happened to the cheek? You can kiss me on the cheek, but don't kiss me here. You know, I just, you know, and people will flip this stuff around, and weak-minded people will listen to this stuff, believe this stuff, take it in their heart, and ruin their heart, ruin their soul, ruin their outlook on people, build this hate on the inside of them, constantly be miserable, constantly talk about their misery, constantly over and over and over again. You know, let it go, change it, do something different. And that's what I'm getting ready to do. And I have to do this. I can't go and lay in my bed and say, hey, you, change me. Hey, you, make me happy. No, I got to do this myself. And it's going to be a hard journey. And I want you to come with me on this journey. I am going to do this, you know, and I'm going to videotape every minute of it that I can. Bye-bye. Do it. I'm doing it. Do something good. Don't hurt nobody.